Hey guys, we're very excited. Michael Butler here. I would encourage you to throw on a hat if you feel so inclined. We're in the business of having fun and helping people, and we're going to get to hear from everybody tonight. We're glad you're here because tonight, inspired by Connie Houlihan, we've got an exciting announcement here in a few moments, but I just want to say that this is the funnest thing we've ever done. Solavei has been a total blast for us. Me and Michelle found this in September, or actually in August before the launch, and I tell you, the incredible growth. We're a social company, and she really, Connie really inspired me to look at, let's all look at our daily activities, and so she inspired this game, and this game is in progress. This is the beta test tonight. We're going to talk about what this will look like going into next week. But you guys, St. Louis just came off a huge victory. And I think we might have Taj in the car. That's Abigail in the car. Hey, Abigail. Are you mobile? Don't have a wreck. We're glad you're here. So we're going to start looking at creating predictable results and tracking our daily activities and really planning our success. Now I've got a fortune cookie here I picked up today. And if you're like my kids, they love to eat Chinese, not so much for the food, but for the fortune cookie. And people do online businesses for different reasons. Actually, I pulled one out today. It says, you are soon going to change your present line of work. How appropriate is that for your prospects? Let's see what this one says. I was in the Asian store recently buying Asian food, and I just had to buy these fortune cookies, you know. This one says, your whole family are well. Well, network marketing, internet marketing, it's not a fortune cookie, it's not a lottery ticket, it's not throwing mud at the wall and hoping something sticks. But so many people get sidetracked and diverted from being focused in this industry. And here in a little bit, we're going to really turn it over to Connie and let her share the idea that kind of inspired the Thousandaire Games. But, you know, working from home since '05, I've worked with a lot of people that spend a lot of time organizing paperclip drawers, and you ask them, what's going on? And they're like, oh, I'm busy, I'm talking to a lot of people. Well, at the end of the day, because they're not tracking their progress, they're really not making anything happen, and they're wondering why they're not having results. So with that, I'm going to pull up a video and share. I am not a hugely talented guy, but I am bulldog determined. One thing about me is I grew up on the dairy farm, and we always worked hard. And sometimes, I'm going to mute out. We got a couple mics going crazy. So we'll let everybody chime in and give us what's up this week. Somebody's yawning. Don't do that. You know, some people are climbing a ladder and then they realize when they get to the top of the ladder it's on the wrong building. And so I really like what Thomas Edison said. He said most people don't recognize success because it's dressed in overalls and it looks like hard work. And I think what we'll do is probably pull up the video at the end. But Connie, you had some awesome thoughts, and one thing I really want to do, because I know I'm the world's worst about tracking my daily activities, because I'm like, oh yeah, I talked to a bajillion people today, but when in reality, at the end of the day, maybe I only talked to 3 or 5 people. And Connie, you had some revolutionary thoughts, and we're all wanting to start a revolution. And you guys definitely look like a revolution in St. Louis 2 nights ago. My gosh. Shannon and I were talking today, and I said, you know, St. Louis was more on fire than Kansas City, and Kansas City had margaritas. What's up with that? You know, it's almost like Ryan Wirtz turned around and he said, how many of you are excited in Kansas City? And then he looks back here and he's like, oh my gosh, I was hoping St. Louis was back there, and it was Kansas City, so he really had to kind of pump him up. But Connie, kind of give us your take on what inspired you with the whole Thousandaire Games concept.
So, one of my things in my background is I'm trained with landmark education, and we had a leadership program that I was part of. Is there feedback? I don't know what else to do. Okay. So, and it's really about making promises of what you're going to do. It's like planning your work and working your plan. So to make the structure for fulfillment for us in Solavei is inviting people to send out, inviting people to watch the video. We send videos out through outreach. We also have the tool of inviting people over to our homes or meeting them somewhere to show the Solavei social. In St. Louis, we're blessed to have Coach here, and we do live events as well. So those are like the pathways, really, that we have. So a possible structure for success is to make promises on how many people a day are you going to invite to either watch a video, watch a social, come to an event, and then how many out of all the people that you're going to talk to in a week, Solavei promotes a trio-a-week mentality, and, that sounds great to me. And so, but it's going to take, like, historically, if you track things, I'm kind of a nerd and I like data, but in order to be successful, you're going to need to, talk to probably 20 people to get 3 trios. Or, I'm sorry, to get 3 people into 1 trio. And so it's how are you going to do that? So you're going to make promises of who you're going to talk to, and it could be specific people's names, like I'm going to talk to my friend Bridget, I'm going to talk to my friend Richard, specific people. But then there's also, like, I talk to people at the grocery store, I talk to people at my son's school, like strangers. So there's also, like, what communities are you part of? Like, we talk to a lot of people, and my son's involved with Boy Scouts. Mm-hmm. So it might be a promise of I'm going to talk to 2 parents of my son's friends this week. I'm going to talk to specific names, and then you can also have, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Pinterest. So like maybe one of my promises for the week is I'm going to talk to somebody who followed a new follower of mine on Pinterest.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily matter where your pool of people that are coming from. It could be from a lot of different areas. But I guess the biggest thing is to give your word to, I'm going to talk to, make a promise around who you're going to invite. And then out of that number, you're going to promise so many people are going to register. Because the only way to win in this game is to put people into the business.
Now, you recently brought in what I'll call a heavy hitter as far as somebody that's been there, done that, knows a lot of people, a large center of influence that you found on Twitter. You want to share about how or on Pinterest, I'm sorry. You're talking about fishing for people. A lot of people in this industry, Connie, they're hunters, and they walk into the room and we're like, no, thank you, I don't need any. And they're pointing the gun at us, but you're throwing bait out there, you're throwing fish hooks out there, and you're making this opportunity and this product attractive. So tell us about fishing on Pinterest, and my goodness, you had a big catch there.
Well, so Pinterest, out of all the different social platforms, Pinterest there are more people who make buying decisions and actually buy something because of Pinterest versus the other social platforms. So I love Pinterest. I have a lot of the different Solavei images that have been on Solavei Facebook page or the Solavei Pinterest page. You can also do Google image search for Solavei, and you can get a lot of great source material for, that's how you find things to be on Pinterest. So then people will, and then you want to tag, you have an opportunity to tag your pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And so people will find you based on their interests. So one of the things that I'm interested in is having nonprofit benefit from Solavei, because it's such a win-win opportunity. You know.
Great idea.
So because I was focusing on, so a lot of my keywords in my description of the Solavei pictures were around nonprofits. Danny Rail joined.
Danny, we hear you. You're loud and clear. Michael Carson in the house. Welcome, guys.
I was right here.
Or is that Michael? Oh, guys, everybody's coming in. I know St. Louis had their meeting, so Connie, your crowd's showing up.
I have the best team.
Woohoo! I don't know if anybody's going to debate. Maybe Texas. What about Texas? Anybody on here from Texas? Michael's in the car. Keep it safe, Mike.
Yeah, you're one to talk.
Uh-oh. Busted. Oh, go ahead, Connie.
Yeah.
We interrupted him.
So, anyway, this man followed me on Pinterest, and his name was Making More Miracles. And so that was like, oh, I was interested in that. So I followed him back and saw that he was working with nonprofits too. And in fact, he is a premier fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network.
Big
and I thought, how beautiful is this? So I found him on Facebook, and I started chatting with him on Facebook from our Pinterest page. He said, thanks for the follow on Pinterest. I see, you're also into promoting, helping nonprofits do fundraising. I'd love to share with you this residual opportunity to save people money. It's a win-win-win. And so he emailed me back, and I said, he's interested. And I said, well, let's have a conversation. When can we, talk? I can actually talk offline. And we had a couple of conversations, and he's in, and he's excited, and he's presenting Solavei to major groups. He just sent off a proposal to Care 2, which has 21 million members. They're very interested. He
That's
sent another
amazing.
one off to the Natural News publication.
Yeah.
I hear Michael Ray.
That is huge. Okay, so the point is, what I hear you saying, Connie, there's a tipping point. There's a magic number, and for everybody it's maybe a little bit different depending on their experience and who they're talking to. But what I hear you saying is if we get our numbers up, like anything in life, if we want to get better at golf, we just keep swinging. So basically what I hear you saying is you just kept swinging, and what would you say to somebody about being honest with themselves? Maybe they're going to call somebody, but talk to me about that scenario. Why do we, and I know you've studied this before, the psychology of it, why do we say, I'm going to talk to Tony, but then we freak out and we're like, oh, Tony wouldn't want to do that. Explain that to me. How do we overcome that?
Sure. So what what I see happening with this group is that once a week we kind of get together and celebrate our successes and look at what was missing, not what was wrong, right? Because we all have good intentions, but it's what is missing. The presence of, if it were there, would make the difference.
I just want to say this too. You're a great parent. You know what? I think a lot of what you're doing, I think if more parents model that, because you're enforcing the positive behavior, right? Not so much putting down the negative behavior.
Right. Thank you.
Love it. Love it.
So when
love it. So I know.
Plan,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So like, let's say I declare I'm going to make a promise to call my friend Richard, because I know Richard is a center of influence, and Richard would love Solavei. But then when I go to call Richard, I find 500 other things to do that are easier to do than to call Richard. There's a blind spot that I have, or a barrier that has me not want to go call Richard. So then I don't call Richard, and then a day passes and a day passes, and so here we are a week later, and I still haven't talked to Richard. And
Right.
all that there is to do is to look at what was the conversation. So I promised I'm calling Richard, but then I had a conversation in my head that was not supportive of me calling Richard. And usually, so it's like I would say to myself, okay, why didn't I call Richard? Well, I have a story about Richard's going to think I'm, what's she up to again? She's off doing something else new. He's not going to take me seriously. So that conversation is what had me not call Richard. Now then I have no power. But it's to look at, okay, well, who said that? Who said that Richard's going to not take me seriously? Richard didn't say that. I said that. So it's to look at that thought, distinguish that it's not, there's no reality in it. Like, I made that up. So if I made that up, Richard's going to think, I'm stupid, well, I can make up something else that's going to actually empower me, like, oh, Richard's going to thank me for this opportunity. And then when I'm standing in that space, that this is a blessing for Richard, then it's going to be easy to make the phone call and extend the invitation.
Well, Connie, I think you hit on a really good point there, because most of us need a coach. We need a life coach. We need somebody in life that's going to bring out the best. I mean, I think it's human nature to believe those negative thoughts in our head because of, a childhood self-esteem issue or whatever. I stuttered as a child. I can remember being 7 years old and having trouble talking, and I can remember friends and family members ridiculing me. And so basically, even though now I'm a pretty outgoing person, I was not outgoing at all. I was passive. I was in my shell. Yeah, now you just can't turn me off. I'm feedbacking everywhere. So it's just, I think I had some coaches like you encourage me that get out and talk to people, and I still struggle with it. Our team's grown to 1,600 people. Thanks to you guys. But I'm excited about what's coming up in the future. Do you want to share a little bit about what's going to be coming up and what we're going to be doing and what this is going to look like?
What I see happening is that, like I said, once a week we'll get together, celebrate, like I said I was going to have 3 people enroll, and I had 4 people enroll, or I had 1 person enroll, but we share, what we produce in the week. And then in between the Thursday night group call, I'm working with people, every day. So, like, if we could do, like, a buddy system where we make promises in the morning. I know, like, Shannon and I talk either in the evening about the next day or the morning about the day. Like, what are your goals for the day? Because unless you make a promise and declare something and put a structure in place that is going to actually have it happen, like I said earlier, plan your work your plan. Nothing's going to happen, like you said, we're organizing paper clips.
People don't realize how powerful it is to verbally state your goals and to verbally tell other people, right? That's powerful.
There's accountability. It is powerful.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, guys. It doesn't matter if you're planning to do guerrilla marketing, trade shows, email marketing, social media marketing, if you're doing pay-per-click, if you're buying leads, whatever it is you're doing, and hopefully you're doing more than one thing, good old-fashioned networking or just picking up the phone and texting your friends and calling your friends and talking to people the good old-fashioned way, any activity in the direction of your dream is going to help you realize it more quickly. And it's kind of like pushing a boulder or a car up a hill. It's hard at first to get that momentum and that kinetic energy moving, but once you get that thing moving, and I tell you, over the next 3 years in this company of Solavei, is huge, massive momentum will create the most millionaires. Sorry for yelling. I used to be a preacher. And I'll turn my mic down a little.
Really?
But what we do now, it's foundational. It's like I was telling one of our team members in California the other day, was a little bit frustrated, and I said, look, There wasn't a road here before. You created a road. You created a path with the bulldozers. Now we're going to lay the asphalt, the concrete. Guys, it's going to be so much easier now for your team to reach Thousandaire. And those daily goals, you know, when you look at a core mission, well, I want to retire with Solavei, but I'm eating chips all day and I'm making one phone call. It's not going to do it. So I really love the idea of creating systems. I really love the idea of Connie of accountability. I'm kind of a Lone Ranger maverick kind of a guy. I don't do well always being accountable to others. But I found in this industry that the people that are accountable and say, hey, I'm going to do this, and here's my daily activity. So I want to kind of celebrate some of the successes you guys had in St. Louis. So I think I'll just give you the mic, Connie. Why don't you kind of talk about some of that? Tell us individually who you want to interview on your team. Kudos to your team. Then I want to hear from these guys that are out of state. We've got California on the line. We've got Texas on the line. 2 different people in Texas. So with that, Connie, why don't you celebrate some of your team members' successes this week?
Well, so we had a huge, you know, you mentioned the event that we had on Tuesday night with Ryan and Larry Wallace coming in town. And Shannon had a lot of guests there. I want to have her to talk about that. And then she had, yay! And she also had a guest at our event tonight.
Awesome.
She wins.
Oh, let's unmute her.
Yes, unmute Shannon.
You know, I don't think I have her muted on this end. Have you muted her?
I have not muted her. Is your microphone working?
We'll give a drum roll. Well, Connie, while she's getting her mic ready, I want to ask you a question. You said something. She had visitors there Tuesday night. She had guests there tonight. Talking about the numbers, how many people have you found, if you want to get somebody to a social, you want to get somebody to an event, how many people do you need to invite to reach that tipping point and have it happen and have somebody show up?
I would say 10 to 20. Because I had 7 guests confirmed that afternoon.
Uh-huh.
And 2 showed, we had 2. Well,
okay.
And a wife. But, you know, so like half of the ones that we even had confirmed didn't show up.
Well, we can't hear, and I appreciate you guys because it was just so gorgeous. You guys, the way you had everybody staged, the way you moved everybody the second time, you featured your top leaders. We could see everybody. We were tweeting Scott during the event. He was texting us. He wanted to do the Harlem Shuffle, I think, here in the middle. Maybe you can interpret for Shannon, but tell us what she's done because you know her successes this week. Hey, honey.
Hi, Michelle.
I like the crown. Hi, everybody.
Woohoo! Hello.
So Shannon was part of our team last week that we went to 3 different military job fairs. And it wasn't just showing up at the job fairs, but it's also all the follow-up. You know, it's the phone calls, the emails, loading them into our social builder, loading them into our outreach, you know, and actual conversations. Emails are not enough. It needs to be a conversation. You know, this is powered by relationships, not powered by email.
Ah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. So Shannon took the time and invested herself and invested her energy into having all of those conversations. Not just the structure of the email and the tools that we have, but actually on the phone, talking, you know, conversation after conversation after conversation.
How many? That's awesome. How many people from that event that you worked would you say you got plugged into Soco Builder?
I would say for myself, out of the 3 days, I have maybe 25 people.
That's
we had
awesome.
4 or 5 of us working the booth. Shannon, I think, has more.
You know, I think that is powerful. That's a good start. And like you said, email is not a replacement for a phone call, but it's certainly there to drip on people because people are busy. And we've had a couple people sign up this week. As a matter of fact, a 70-year-old gentleman said, "I've been getting your emails for 6 months, and I'm ready to sign up." So it works. So who else do you want to mute and hear from the St. Louis team before we go global here?
Well, I know Scott had a video, made a special video interview with our CEO, Ryan Wirtz, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Can you hear me?
Talk louder.
Yeah, we can hear you. Speak up.
Okay, sorry, my mic is kind of...
Well, we can hear you, Scott, but we can't see you.
Thought we said something happened.
He could share it on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, he could share it on YouTube.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Someone muted me, I think. Okay, so, yeah. The plan for Ryan, basically, when we got there, I knew that I was going to be interviewing Ryan. I just, not until we had time, or didn't have time, I was gonna make it happen, you know. And you just get, basically, with everything with Solavei, it doesn't matter if you're going to be talking to the CEO or founder, or if you're going to be talking to a stranger about Solavei, you got to stay positive about it, you know. And that's what I did. And so went in there, you know, with the mic and the camera and everything. And, you know, at the end there, he was about to leave and run out the door, and he grabbed my coat. And he's like, "Is this mine?" I was like, "Oh, actually, that's mine. But, hey, I want to talk to you real quick." And, you know, I said, "Hey, can we interview you?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So basically, we interviewed him because our technique, our strategy that me and Scott, the other Scott here in St. Louis, are trying to do is basically we're going to get a bunch of IT guys, like IT professionals. We're hitting up a lot of the big IT, SEO, internet marketing companies here in St. Louis because there are a ton of them. And we've already called 73 of them.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, and basically we have two meetings next week, actually. And I have a presentation that I made, and Ryan is going to be, his video of him is going to be in the end of the presentation. And he, basically what we asked him was, if you were sitting in a room in front of a room full of IT companies, what would you say to them what would you say to them about why they should be interested in Solavei?
Wow.
And man, he just hit it off. It was great. So he answered the question pretty well, and he kind of mentioned how, well, these companies, when they were going to get investors, right, he said to them, or he said that they realized how viral that this was going to go, and then this was going to be. And some other things about it. But I will have the video up here in a couple days. I'm working on it. There's a few things that have been edited. But yeah, I'll have it up for you all here in a few days. But I'm pretty excited about it and can't wait for this coming week. You know, we got a lot of things going on, so it's going to be good.
Good job, Scott.
Good job. Great job, Scott. That's awesome. We can't wait to see the video, man. And appreciate your strategic insight in your target market on that. Randy, you want to chime in there and tell us about your numbers, what we were talking about last night?
Am I unmuted?
We can hear you.
Awesome. How is everybody?
Doing good.
I had a hard time finding you. I went to Michael's Hangout and it didn't show up. Yeah, Coach and I were brainstorming yesterday about, you know, a few numbers about how to get somebody involved. And it's real simple. I mean, $57 is nothing for an auto ship here. But would you pay $600 a year to get back $15,000? you know, if you did nothing else, if you didn't even use the phone as an extra phone, give it to a grandkid or an extra kid, a grandparent, or whoever, if they say the service doesn't work, because that's kind of we run into a lot of areas where there is that issue. But, you know, really, get 15 people, 90 days, get 54 people total, you're at $1,000. Repeat that every quarter, and you're at $55,000, $60,000 a year.
That's awesome.
It's just simple math. That would be 300 people. You know, just another way to look at it.
Well, we definitely want to hear from Coach and Shannon and Jerry before we take it to Texas and California. Coach, tell us. I mean, you had a meeting tonight. I know you had the room packed with Shannon and Connie's people there, and Jerry and everybody. Tuesday night was electrifying.
Yes.
And Margaritaville and Kansas City could not do you guys one up. You guys won the social hangout energy and
Spirit Award.
Yeah, the Spirit Award. That's the word.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So, well, anyway, you know, it takes a village. We had not only organized to get the event here, but beyond that, we all were inviting people.
Well, you know, Connie was talking about the numbers and how many people you need to invite to make a sale. What have you found as far as the people you talk to about Solavei? What kind of conversion rates are you seeing in your group and with you personally?
Well, the key to the whole thing is whether or not you have a relationship. You know, if you have a relationship, you have more influence with that person than somebody you just meet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep dripping on the people you have a relationship with, I think you're going to get them all over time. The SOCO builder and the back office of the Solavei website that allows the autoresponder, those are so key. I was coming back from Dallas 2 weeks ago. My phone rang. It was a guy in New York that I've never met personally. And he was a guy who actually looked right after the lane launched. His cell phone contract's up. And so he said, "Are you still doing that thing?" You know, I'm paying $100 a month. Yeah, I want to pay $49.
Yeah, I'm still doing my thing. Yeah.
And I had another fellow that I shared with 3 months ago, and he was at the meeting tonight, actually. He's enrolled here a week or so ago. And, you know, it's just one of those things that you can never give up on a prospect, and if you just keep dripping on them.
Well, and I think some people too were skeptical. You know, is this company really going to do what it said? And we're 6 months in, and it's just getting better and better. So, are you seeing that too? Or I'm sure. Well, Randy and Coach, you guys have been there with us since the beginning. But are you seeing that? Yes, people are really starting to believe in Solavei.
Yeah. Well, it's not just, and that's a good point, Michelle. It's not just, is the company going to be there? Are you going to be there?
True.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
You know, somebody asked me a question from Texas the other day, and he says, "I haven't signed anybody up yet. What do I say?" And I said, "Well, you sell the credibility of the team and the credibility of Solavei. Even though you haven't personally, you're brand new, and you just tell them, hey, I'm brand new. I've just been in a week, but the company has grown to 160,000 customers. So you leverage the strengths of your team."
Right. Exactly.
What else are you seeing, Coach?
Well, I'm clear since Ryan's been here. I need to get out and commit to find 5 people or 7 people or 10 people every day and ask them the 6 questions and send a video.
What are those 6 questions?
Do you have a cell phone?
Okay.
Who's your service with? If you don't mind me asking, what do you pay a month?
Yeah.
If you could get as good or better service than you have now for $49 a month or for free, would you want to know how?
Sign me up. How do I do it?
Well, hang on just a second. Would it be all right if I sent you a short little video, 6 minutes, a video email? Explains everything. Okay. I open my phone. I say, how do you spell your first name?
There you go.
How do you spell your last name? What email would you like this to go to? Now watch here close. You see there where it says next? Now, this is the video I'm going to send, and you'll see that letter will come with it. So I'm going to hit send now. Boom. It's in your inbox.
That's great.
I love it.
And it's just that simple.
Yeah, I love that. You know, when we were down... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, so if I commit to do that 5 times a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 strangers probably that I'm going to be contacting. They don't cost me anything. In time, if I get one person out of those 25 who will do the same thing every week, the compounded effect of this turns into literally thousands and thousands of emails in 6 months' time, going out every day.
Hey, you know what? When we were in Dallas for the regional, you know, we're with the hotel that we said, the Embassy Suites. So every time I was in the elevator, you know what everybody had in their hand? They might have not have had a purse or a bag, you know, because they were running around there. They all had their phone. So it was so easy for me to do those questions and get leads. So I don't know, a tip might be, you know, go to your local hotel and ride up and down on the elevators. I mean, maybe.
Is that where you've been today?
Yeah.
Is that what you've been doing?
Maybe the managers will, you know, figure out, you know, hey, what are they doing here? They've been here 5 days a week, so maybe strategically go from hotel to hotel. But that's a great place.
That's how to build an international business.
An international business too.
for the travelers, go to the high dollar hotels.
Yeah. It's a good thing you mentioned that, Michelle, because now when Michael hears about you've been at the hotel, he'll know what you were doing there.
It's a tax write-off.
I need the angel crown right now.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Barb. Good to see you guys. Nice to see the real. Wow, you guys really showed out in St. Louis. What was your take on the event Tuesday night?
Oh, I thought it was just great. Ryan is such a natural, and he is so enrolling, you know. He's a real circulator. And I don't think he does anything by accident. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to meet Barb there. Barb, it's good to see your beautiful wife, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, there's Barb. Hi, Barb.
Hey, I see Edna over there.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Hi.
Well, we want to hear from our other states really quick. So we never heard from Shannon. Shannon, I guess you've got a mic issue going on. Give us a shout in a bit.
Somebody muted Shannon.
We're going to open it up to the other states. So California, if you want to give us a shout, or Texas, give us a shout, or Georgia, give us a shout. We want to hear from you. How you doing?
Hector.
Welcome, Hector. Columbus, Georgia.
Edna, I see Edna's here. It's good to see you, Edna. Can you hear us?
Her mic not working.
Oh, okay.
Chantel, how are you in San Antonio? We want to hear from you, Chantel. Can you say hi? Well, just kind of the recap, guys, and then we'll go back. I know there's some questions in the chat box. If you got any questions, please type them in the chat box. We've got a few we'll hit in a minute, but every Thursday night at 9 Central, we'll be doing this Thousandaire Games. And basically the whole premise here was motivated by Connie Houlihan. It said, some folks wake up and say, wow, 6 months, a year into this, how can we strategically plan our success now by filling up our calendar with productive activities on a daily basis, being accountable, being honest. It's real easy to lie to ourselves. And with that, we've got a surprise here we're going to share. We're going to share the birthday cake because this is our very first Thousandaire Games. We're recording, and we've got a birthday girl this week up in St. Louis there at the Schindler household. So everybody say hi to her. Happy birthday.
I think we should sing. Can we sing to Susanna?
Yeah, you want to lead us?
I do. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, Savannah. Happy birthday to you.
Mom says happy birthday.
Awesome.
You know, we had a Google Hangout with Stacy Wallace every Wednesday at noon Central, 10 Pacific, and Chantel was on that Google Hangout, and it was so funny because Stacy and James Linhart were being Sunny and Cher, and they were saying, hey guys, we're Sunny.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. We're going to share Solavei, and they were dressed up, and
Really cute. Good information. Really good information.
one thing Chantel said was, this is fun. I've been taking this too seriously. So I would encourage you to lighten up, have fun, find people that like having fun. And the other thing about that, people that are okay and comfortable with having fun, they're normally better at talking to strangers in the grocery store aisle, right?
Or the elevator.
The elevator. I'm going to call her my elevator woman. So we got a few questions in the chat box. We're going to do our best every time to get you out at the top of the hour. So the mystery is, who has Shannon muted? Who? Is it anonymous?
Oh, her daughter's so cute.
Oh, look at Susanna. How cute.
Savannah.
Hannah Muffin says hello. Hi, Susanna.
Let's see if we can pass the cake to Susanna. Shannon, can you pick up the cake if we pass it? I'm not sure if I can pass the cake. You might have to grab it yourself. Well, we got a few questions in the chat box. Scott Steinlage, you and Connie have put out some great videos recently. And I know in the coming weeks, some of the things we're going to talk about are what systems to have in place. Some people feel like, I set up a Twitter account, therefore, you know, I'm on Facebook, therefore I shouldn't really talk to anybody about Solavei because I'm on social media. Well, that's just one line in the water. And when we would go fishing as kids, you know, you have to rebait that hook because somebody come along and bite it. Rebait the hook. So some of the things we'll be talking about, you guys did 3 or 4 trade shows this week. We're doing a trade show Saturday. We're going to help each other get better at trade shows, online networking, video marketing. Scott, you had a question about new and used phones in my email today. Really all I did was share the link for getaphone.biz. And the getaphone.biz, of course, are refurbished phones, and then the GSM Nation phones, which are the new phones. So I thought, one thing I do, guys, I've got an email marketing strategy. And one thing I'll share with you this week is kind of my funnel system. And email marketing is one of my funnels with about 1,300 people in that warm market that get 2 emails from me a week apart from Soko Builder. And I thought, you know, let's make it fun. They can click on new or used phones depending on what they're feeling like. and I decided just to keep what I did today for my prospects on that new and used phone. I thought, what the heck, I'll use this template, send it out to the team tonight. So there you have it. I'm all about making it easy. So what are some areas you guys could help each other and help me? I know Connie said teaming up, finding a buddy that's huge. And one thing we talked about in Dallas, for example, Michelle and I are both type A people. We would kill each other if we were going to be each other's accountability mentors. You know, Randy and I would probably get along pretty great, holding each other accountable, or me and Hector. But if Michelle and I did, we wouldn't be a good fit because we're husband and wife. So does everybody have a buddy and know what that's about? And then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This week I've been looking for, I really suck at Excel spreadsheets. But what I'm trying to find is a template somewhere online. And Randy, maybe you have some. I remember old school, we used to have a lot of memory joggers and weekly trackers just to kind of track emails sent, phone calls made, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to be accountable to the team. And plan to have that to you guys next week.
I'm sure I have some. I can dig some out.
Edna, you've got a guy there. That's a pretty general statement. Edna says, sure, I have it. I should probably read this whole thread. Okay. Are there any other questions in the chat box? Scott wants to share something. I guess that was from an hour ago. It's hard for me as a guy being very linear to read chat, to talk, to listen. It's overwhelming. Oh, cool. Well, the cool thing about the emails, and then Michelle can show you the SOCO builder because it's all automated. It goes out for you. They're already written. Leverage. Oh, for new people, yeah, get with your sponsor. I was talking to Nathan Gooden today about SOCO builder. And I know he's been testing it. I have too. The Share Solavei is great and everything, but it doesn't have a way for people to import their entire database. And that's really huge, particularly for somebody new, just to be able to click a button and import 1,000 email contacts to start getting email autoresponders. I got a question for Coach. The lead you got from New York or New Jersey that called you coming back from Dallas, was that somebody that you had emailed in the past, or was that a personal connection, or was that pretty much a cold? How'd they find you?
It was a fella that responded to a USA Today ad.
Oh, great. Awesome. Well, hey guys, coming up is Orlando Regional. If you know anybody within 5 hours of Orlando, hey, Michelle and I are going down. I'd go down just for the fresh squeezed orange juice. I love Florida fresh squeezed orange juice, and to see Randy. Seeing Randy and Stacy would definitely be worth it, but having the orange juice will make it that much more worth it. So. But we do have a team coming in, and hopefully we'll get to see Hector and Rocio because you're going to be right there on the way. So let's reach out and we'll give you our schedule and make that happen and connect up with you guys in Columbus. But who do you know in Orlando? I got to tell you, two of my top people in all of Solavei, I did not know prior to Solavei. One's Randy Ford. He's my top earner here on the in the group. He's my top producer. Next to this woman. This woman is coming on strong, and any day now, Randy, look out. Michelle is gaining on you.
My goal!
She's
I'm
very
surprised
competitive.
she hasn't passed this yet.
I should adjust her hat setting. Where was it?
Top earner.
Oh, look and see who you know in Orlando. One of my top earners is in Puerto Rico, and we were Facebook friends because we're friends of the network marketing industry, and out of the blue, he didn't really know me, I didn't really know him, other than we were Facebook friends. Do a post on Facebook that's not about Solavei. Post a picture of you wearing a funny hat, and matter of fact, everybody smile.
You lost a lot of people.
I'm not quite sure how that whole technology works when you flash a picture. It's almost like...
We lost Coach. There he is. And Connie. Coach replaced his picture.
I just hit the camera button, so I guess everybody's taking a picture. I don't know. Well, Connie, thanks for motivating the Thousandaire Games. If you guys have not seen the little video bumper we did, I'll share it later in the Facebook group with this broadcast. We'll go in and edit this broadcast so you get the cute little bumper that I'm kind of proud of. It's nothing like a Steinloggy production or a Houlihan production, but hey, it's a try from an ADD guy.
Cool.
So I've asked Randy in the coming weeks to share some of his secret. He's got some proprietary secrets he does to build such a large network, and we'll see if we can twist his arm, get some of his secrets out. And I know he's shared with some of you guys his building secrets. I think mine has always just kind of been a numbers game. I used to do door-to-door sales in Nashville and door-to-door sales in Little Rock, and it was all about knocking. The more doors you knocked, you couldn't say the wrong thing to the right person or the right thing to the wrong person. It was just a matter of saying, "Hi, my name is Michael. Do you own your home?" And they're like, "Yes." And it's kind of like Coach's formula, asking 6 questions. Do you own a cell phone? Is that your cell phone? You're wanting to get a yes out of them, right? Yes, I own this home. Oh, great. I've got something for you. Guys, you're the funnest people to work with. I know it's been a long, tiring week in St. Louis, but I just want you to know Solavei Nation felt the energy last night, guys. And we're going to post this Google Hangout here in a couple hours. Once it's done rendering and I touch it a bit, we'll share it in the group. It's great to have the birthday Susanna girl on with us as our youngest. I think our farthest away from the home office, we'd say the Midwest is kind of where we have most of our folks here in Missouri and Oklahoma tonight, but it was great to have San Diego on, it was great to have San Antonio on, and it was great for a little bit to have Dallas on. Those of you that don't know, reach out to your hearing impaired and deaf friends because all the Solavei videos now are closed captioned. Get all your guests to Orlando. Me, Randy, Stacy, and Michelle are going to be there. So if you have anybody along the route of Atlanta, Columbus, Georgia, anyway, we're traveling through. We'll do a coffee with them. We'll do a lunch with them. And we'll help you close them. And I'll share that map with you. We've mapped the travel map, and I'll post it tomorrow.
I think something else we may try, too, is these door hangers. Coach and I were talking about those door hangers. They're pretty reasonable when you got those flyers. You can get those down to about 5 cents a piece for door hangers. And that may be a really good way to really start getting some people putting out thousands of door hangers.
Yeah, here's a door hanger.
You know, I just realized I'm chatting here, and I didn't scroll down with you. There's more questions in the chat box. Door hangers are great ideas, guys. I think you're definitely onto something there, and
yeah, they may not be quite that cheap, but they're very reasonable if you buy a lot of them at once. And you need to try to start putting those out in some areas. You have some young kids, pay them $20 and run them up and down streets.
Yeah, I'm screen sharing right now, and here's one that Scott and I created. If you guys want to take a look at this, it just kind of gives you a good example.
that looks very sharp. Are you going to share that in Google Drive for us?
Yeah, I can throw it on wherever. Yeah, I put it on Facebook, you know, in our group.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Now, if you go down to the bottom, hold on one sec. All right, if you go down to the bottom, it has all the scores, right? And then below that, it has like if you've answered yes to more than 5 of these questions, I would suggest looking into this. If you have answered yes to more than 8 of these questions, I would highly suggest looking into this. If you have answered yes to more than 10 of these questions, I would take advantage of this.
Can you post that in Dream Team as well, under the files?
Yeah.
Scott, I would add the last one, today. Add the word today. Like, I would suggest doing this. Like, we want to call to action now.
Right.
That's really great.
Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it. So you're putting that on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
I tell you, we've got some creative people in this group. I'm going to call it a night, guys. And as always, it's great to be here with you, the greatest team on earth. Dream Team.
That's right.
St. Louis Dream Team. Or St. Louis Solavei.
Where the dream becomes reality.
Well, everybody have a good night.
Good night, guys. Sweet dreams, Savannah.